humanity came up with to meet the challenges of the 20th century, 2 levers in which we believe. It is that conviction which is motivating my country as President of the United Nations Environment Assembly." Unquote, end of His Majesty's statement. This assembly focuses on addressing threats to species and ecosystems, and threats to our air, our soil, our waters. This assembly is about committing to decisive actions and credible solutions. In 2024, we have no choice but to act faster and with greater ambition. Environmental threats are disproportionately affecting some communities more than others. Science tells us that impacts we are facing are worsening. Last year was the hottest on record. Catastrophic events like raging storms, terrible droughts, devastating wildfires are becoming the new normals. But we have the solutions in nature, in our technologies, in innovations, in finance. And we know what is possible when we come together armed with ambition, with an open mind, and with unity. Because multilateralism works. One great example is the negotiations underway on the global treaty to end plastic pollution. This was a key outcome of the previous assembly that is only possible to implement if we stop the blame game and the finger pointing. We have the opportunity to leave our mark this year too, in committing to ambitious actions on a range of environmental challenges. We must drive inclusive and multilateral action and focus on our energy on key and credible solutions. And the good news is that we have examples from around the world that we can emulate, from governments, from enterprises, from youth, civil society, local communities, that we can use to protect environmental health, to protect human health, and to protect human lives. We are convinced that the promise of revamping environmental multilateralism during this UN decade of ecosystem restoration cannot be delivered without a coordinated effort between the UN system and the most driven, the most enlightened leadership from the private and public sectors with cutting-edge technologies, investments in R&D, innovative funding expertise, and with sustainable engagement with local communities. That is why I've taken the initiative to put together a group of like-minded, purpose-driven leaders who share the personal sense of urgency to advance environmental multilateralism and to align financial flows with science and sustainability. These leaders pledge to coordinate with the UN system to build a better engagement from industry, and I've addressed a letter to His Excellency UN Secretary General so this group could form the Alliance of Goodwill Environmentalists and could possibly act as a much-needed support for upcoming UNEA's presidencies, including from the Global South. Excellencies, dear colleagues, as President of this Assembly, my vision is to scale up efforts to overcome our challenges. We must pragmatically look at what we know works and scale that up faster and better. We must nurture what unites us and build on the synergies between the different multilateral environmental agreements and other multilateral agencies. But I also believe, given the fast pace of innovation, that we must stay curious regarding solutions that are yet to be proven, so that we can take, as policymakers, informed and science-based decisions at the right time. Action, credibility, and implementation at all levels is the only way for the resolutions adopted by this Assembly to help us to build the roadmap we want.